5 signs of a relationship that will never last. So just because there's love in that your relationship will never guarantee the success of that your relationship. Because love can start a relationship. So love alone will never guarantee the success of that relationship. So on this video today, you'll be learning 5 signs of a relationship that will never last. So if you see this sign in your relationship and you still choose to stay, so you have yourself to be blamed. Number one sign of a relationship that will never last is one-sided effort, or better still, one-sided effort. This one-sided effort simply means that one person in that relationship is the one doing the calling, is the one doing everything to make that relationship work. Now the other person is just relaxed, just doing nothing, or the other person is just receiving everything that this particular person is putting in to that relationship. So one-sided effort is a number one sign that that relationship will not last at all. Because you need to understand that it takes two to tango. It takes two persons to be in a relationship. So there must be balanced effort. So you can't be the only one doing all the calling, all the testing, all the checking in. You understand? Even though the other person is not actually doing up to what you are doing, at least there should be appreciative words like, okay, I see the effort you put, I see the calls, I see the message, I see the gift, I see the time. If there is even appreciative words alone, at least that can even sustain the relationship. But if the effort is one-sided, it's just only one person that is doing everything, the calling, the testing, the gifting. In fact, it will get to a point where the person will be tired. And at that point, you also know that that relationship is ending. So number two sign of a relationship that will never last is constant lack of peace. You understand? Constant. Not that this is something, not that this is something, not that you experience peace in that relationship once in a while. Constant lack of peace. You are in a relationship, there is no peace. You are losing yourself to please somebody. You understand? You never feel safe around them. You can't even express yourself. You can't express your emotions. You can't express how you feel. That's not even a relationship at the first place. That's what I call situationship. You understand? Because any relationship that does not give you freedom of speech, you can't express yourself. You are constantly living in fear. You are constantly thinking of what to do so that there will not be issue on ground at the moment. You understand? So if there is constant lack of peace in that your relationship, just know that this is a big sign. In fact, this is a big sign that this relationship is not going to last. So as you are listening, do well to listen to the end, because my number 5 point, my number 5 sign is one of the biggest sign that people see and they ignore. So if you see this sign, don't ignore it. So number 3 sign of a relationship that will never last is you compromise on your value easily. Not just easily. In fact, compromising on your value is a major reason, is a major sign that that relationship will not last. Because you need to understand that value is what gives attraction to life. You understand? Value is what they see in you that actually spark the start of that relationship at the first place. So if that value is not there, if that value is dropping constantly, and you constantly feel devalued, you lose yourself, you do everything possible to keep this person in your circle, in your life, but yet all the whole effort you are putting in that relationship keep compromising your value. You understand? You used to read book at least twice in a month. You used to read 2 books in a month before, but all of a sudden it dropped to 1. All of a sudden you don't even have time to even do your personal development at all. You don't even have time to read, you don't have time to this. And each time you complain about this particular issue that I feel like I'm not meeting up to my personal development goals or plan, there's no positive response from your partner, or there's no positive response at all. You hear things like, what to be will be, you don't need to do this, do this, do that. No. So if it's going to cost you to compromise on your value, just know that that relationship will never last at all. You understand? So number 4 reason, or number 4 sign that that relationship is going to end soon is lack of mutual growth. You understand? You need to understand that where there is stagnation from one partner and the other partner keeps on growing, it will get to a point where that your partner who is not growing will lose attraction in your sight. You understand? Growth creates attraction. When your partner keeps growing, or when both of you keep growing in that your relationship, your attraction, your love, your value will increase in that your partner, because you know that it takes effort, it takes commitment, it's taking a lot of sacrifice. In fact, their value have increased. That alone is going to increase the attraction you definitely have for that your partner. So lack of mutual growth. In fact, you are in that relationship for, let me say, if you are in that relationship for a space of 6 months, or you are in that relationship for a space of 1 year, and you are still the same person you were when you enter that relationship. So in the space of 6 months, or in the space of 1 year, nothing has changed in your life. In fact, nothing. You are still the same Dumebi you were when you enter that relationship. In the next 6 months, you are still the same person, and your partner is growing. You understand? You need to know that at a point that your partner will lose attraction for you if your growth is stagnant. So mutual growth is a very, very important sign that your relationship is not going. Lack of mutual growth, I mean, is a number 4 sign that your relationship is not going to last. So if you are watching this extent, congratulations. So now, my number 5 point is a big sign that most people see. Is either they ignore, or maybe fear of what people might say or think is why they ignore this sign, and it is very, very bad. You understand? Number 5 sign of a relationship that will not last is they constantly disrespect your boundaries. You understand? They constantly disrespect your boundary. You understand? Small issues that you ignore today. You understand? Maybe, for example, you are this kind of person that you like your space. You understand? And these people are actually doing things that is not actually what you like. So I just use you like your space as for example. So that might not be the major issue. Now, the major issue there is that they disrespect your boundary. And any issue you look down on today will become a big issue that will arise tomorrow. You understand? So if you don't address this sign properly, you understand? You need to understand that there should be a boundary. Okay, this is what I don't like, or this is what I hate. You understand? I've met somebody. Yes, I've met somebody. Please do well to listen, so that I want to use this story to explain this my number 5, so that you understand it very, very well. Why it is very good for you to respect people's boundary. I have met somebody who said, okay, during the conversation, you just needed to just check on the person to know if the person is okay. And to me, it's care. So, and you just say something like, what's up? How is your day going? And have you had anything to eat? Or maybe something like that. Or have you eaten some sort kind of question like that? And the response you get is that I don't like, and I don't like people asking me if I have eaten or not. That's a boundary. You understand? That alone is a boundary. What you need to do is you just have to respect that boundary. So, and the response I got was, if you know I give you the answer, I have not eaten or I have eaten, and you are not going to provide food for me, please don't ask me if I have eaten or not. That's a boundary. You just need to respect that. Except maybe you want to play the role of a god or the role of El Shaddai in somebody's life, or else you will die. You understand? You are not El Shaddai. So respect people's boundary. Lack of people disrespect, when people disrespect your boundaries, too many times is going to create something that will make you lose interest in that very particular person, because your boundary is like your peace. You understand? They are disturbing your peace. So that is a very, very big sign people look down on, that make their relationship die very, very, very fast. Once again, thanks for watching. And if it's your first time on this channel, do well to subscribe and also like the video, share to somebody you think might need this video. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.